Hi, how are you? So today, I'll try that again. Hi, welcome to my studio. I'm so happy you're here. Okay. I don't know, I can't get from hi, how are you to hi, how are you? Okay, I'm glad you're here. Today, I am going to be talking about a drawing that I did for my husband, and it's all about the technique that I used and why I chose it. So if you want to follow along, I'll talk about that. I'll show you the time-lapse drawing, what I did, and yeah, so if you're interested, follow me. Okay, now I have to get serious. So, when my husband asked me to create a piece for his parents, I felt really honored. Yet, I was unsure of how I would create a piece that would feel contemporary, speak to their deep love for each other, and yet not come across as simply another static drawing. As I often do, I found myself looking at other artists' work on Pinterest for inspiration and came across some really incredible pieces that gave the feeling of having a life within them. The pieces I loved the most were the ones where the artist had used a really loose style of cross-hatching. Of course, cross-hatching. I instantly remembered experimenting with this technique in school, and I had a feeling that this would be the one that would create a feeling of life in this piece too. I used a more subtle way, not as loose, with this piece, but I think it worked well. So cross-hatching is sort of what it sounds like. Short pencil lines are used side by side to create shading, and then more pencil lines are created crossways to the first ones. Each layer builds on the other and creates darker and darker tones, depending on how many times you go over a certain area. I love the way that this cross-hatching technique created a feeling of movement in this couple's portrait. As I slowly hatched the lines, I felt as if I was almost referencing their years together. With each layer, I thought about the stories of their lives, the places they'd lived, the children they'd had, the ups and downs of life, woven into an intricate fabric. Stories of tears, stories of laughter, and of love, good and hard times, times we all experience. So that ends the journey of this picture. If you're interested in having a portrait done, just check out the link below. Thanks.